어서 오십시오.
Well, hello, good morning. Sorry if my voice sounds really gross because I'm sick and it's like 7:45 in the morning. So this is my office and I thought I would give you guys a little tour because we're actually moving offices soon, so I feel kind of safe sharing the place where I work now because it will change by the time that this is uploaded. Let's go take a little tour. So this is my desk. It's unapologetically messy, but so is everybody else's because we kind of live here. Mainly, it's all tea. So let's pick one. Okay, and let's go look at the kitchen. But before we go into the kitchen, I need to introduce you to someone important. Our fish. And so as you can see, this is a pretty open floor plan, and our CEO actually doesn't have an office either. They sit just not here, but they sit like open with us, which is really nice. So yeah, now let's go to the kitchen. This is something I found so funny when I started working here, but apparently it's like not super uncommon. It's a ramen drawer. It's like a hidden drawer of ramen. Here is a meeting room B. And I like these tables because we can write on them and doodle while we're having a meeting, which is fun. Next is, I think, everybody's favorite part. It's kind of where we're all allowed to sleep or relax. And here we don't have like really strict working hours. We just basically need to finish working what we're working on in a timely manner. So if you want to take a nap in the middle of the day, if you need to, it's okay, especially when like a lot of our work is staring at computer screens and your eyes and your head can really hurt. Just come take a nap. We have lots of choices. This is usually where I sit because there's easy access to where I can put my tea. I work here. I sleep on the couch. This is our weird storage room, snack room. It's really messy right now because we're moving. I almost forgot the most important part of my office. That's kind of it for my office tour. So I did my Q&A back at home, but yeah, this is my lovely place. Ooh, I have one more place to show you. Then let's head to the Q&A. Welcome to our rooftop. So this is usually just for smokers. I come up here to get a really good view of the sunset, to watch the snowfall. It's kind of raining, and I'm not wearing my jacket or anything. My toast is gonna get wet, but let's take a look. This is rain clouds, not smog. The air is actually really, really clear today. But you're supposed to be able to see Namsan right there. Clearly not today. Now on to my house. See you there. Hi guys, so I'm going to be doing the Q&A actually back in my apartment, and I'm quite a bit sick, so ignore me if my voice suddenly goes raspy. But I just wanted to clarify a few things before we jump into the questions. Mainly being, I am in a very rare situation. I've had my ups and downs in this company. I've been working here for about 4 years. Overall, I've had an amazing experience. Everything down to like the work environment is so rare, and I just got incredibly lucky. I was in the right place at the right time a lot of times, and so I just want it to be very clear that it's very difficult to find the opportunity that I did. I don't want to discourage you, but I just want you to be realistic when you're thinking about moving to Korea and finding a job. I've known many people who have come here and they're brilliant at what they do, but there just is never an opportunity for them to take. It can be really disheartening. It's not like there's a lot of jobs out there like yours for the taking. It's really difficult. There aren't a lot of jobs. They're usually not in a lot of different industries, especially if you don't have the F visa. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you don't have the F visa, because if you did, you wouldn't need my advice. There's just so many moving parts, and they need to click exactly in the right way for you to get your job. So please be aware of that. You know, it could take years, honestly, for you to find anything. It may never happen. So I don't want to start off as like a complete buzzkill, but I just want to put that out there that it's really difficult. What I am describing is atypical, rare, and I really hope that you guys all find a situation like me. It just may take you a very long time. So that being said, sorry, let's jump into the questions. So Jerk Obsessed asked, what is your job and why don't you still work at YG after my internship? So I am a marketing manager. I do a lot of content creation, social media management, Facebook ads, customer service as well. I kind of wear a lot of hats. That is what I do currently. And why didn't I stay at YG? A lot of reasons. One, I had to go back to America and graduate. I still had a year of university left. And two, I was like, as an intern, but to be a full-time member of that company, I definitely needed to have skills that I just didn't have. Like, not only being fluent in Korean, which is a must, but so many other skills. I just like was not on par with YG. I honestly didn't even think of applying. So yeah, that is why. So Josie asked, why did I decide to work in Korea as opposed to the US? So I studied in Korea for a year. I knew I wanted to come back, and I knew that after college was when I had to do it, because I'm the kind of person that gets really comfortable in a place really easily. So I knew that if I graduated college in America, found a job in New York, got an apartment in New York, I would just never really want to leave. So I knew that if I was going to leave, it had to be then. So that is why I went to Korea. Valeria Orona 95 asked, how did you find your current job? What was your first job in Korea? So when I was an intern, a fellow intern at YG was also a part-time worker at this brand new company. I remember she was telling me that it was really like American style and really cool and blah, blah, blah. For some reason, of all the things I forget, for some reason I remembered the name of this company. When I was looking to apply to jobs in Korea, I actually just went straight to their website and submitted my resume, and thankfully they were like literally about to start their English language team. I didn't use any sites, I just luckily knew the company and they happened to be ready for me. So, and that was my first full-time job in Korea. Lyric Soul asked, where can you find listings? There really aren't that many awesome sites in Korea. If you can speak Korean, there's a site called Saramin. I would say like an Indeed of Korea. And then there's also a website called Job Seeker, jobc.kr, and that is more catered to English speakers or non-Koreans looking for jobs in Korea. You can also use LinkedIn and Indeed. I know that my boyfriend, especially with like, if you're a software developer, he gets a lot of messages on LinkedIn, but I would warn you, on Craigslist, teachers' jobs are pretty legit. You can look up teaching jobs on Craigslist. Non-teaching jobs on Craigslist probably are either sketchy or they won't be able to sponsor your visa. Use a lot of caution on Craigslist. Sayantani 14 asks, how difficult is the interview process? Every single company is different. For me, I submitted my resume. They emailed me back with kind of a questionnaire and then a couple like tasks I had to do. After I submitted that, they asked if they could Skype me, which was the worst experience because I was still in college at the time. I like sat down, got all ready for my Skype interview. Like obviously I was nervous, and literally like a minute before they were supposed to call, the fire alarms went off, and it was an actual drill where we all had to leave our building, and it was snowing outside. So luckily I have a roommate that was like 7 feet tall, and she just like walked in front of me because there's like hundreds of kids trying to go down the stairs, right? She's like, move! Like she's got an interview. So thank God to Chrissy, I got out and like into the library just in time, and the interview went well. And then we had a follow-up interview, and then I was actually offered a part-time job while I was still in school, and that was kind of my probation period. Once they like decided to offer me a full-time position, we signed contracts. That's how it worked. Yay. Legit Lay or Legit Lidge asked, do you need contacts to get a job, or do Koreans consider you as their equal? So for me, I was doing a job that's kind of like specifically for a foreigner. There weren't any Koreans competing against me, basically. I would just say that contacts help a lot just because job listing boards don't really exist. So if you're actually in Korea and you get to know people in the industry that you want to be a part of, they can introduce you to someone who can introduce you to someone, and eventually you might find a job. For example, like some of my old coworkers who have moved on have emailed me asking if I know any foreigners who want a job at their company. It's not necessarily like I'm gonna give these people a gold star and they're immediately gonna get hired. It's more like they just don't know where to find foreigners online if they want a job. Yeah. Nami asked, how do you convince you're a capable worker despite being a non-Korean in the Korean world? So again, for me, I'm doing a job that's pretty much for a foreigner. I bring something valuable to the table. I have an insight that nobody else has in my company. So yeah, that is kind of how I prove my worth, is that I do what I am meant to do and nobody else can. Hey Thursday Noon asked, what sort of experience is needed or preferred in the marketing industry? So you need at least 2 years of experience to get a visa at all. For me, I had a lot of internships in the startup world, in a proper like major international corporation, and at a Korean company. So it really showed them that I could work in a lot of different environments. I would just try to do something varied, I guess in size, but consistent in what you are actually doing. So I was doing a lot of community management, content creation, and social media stuff. So they knew that I could do it no matter what situation I was in. I could mold myself and continue to do those tasks really well. If you can work for something related to Korea that might help. Anything helps, honestly. Kyra Plaza asked about the process of getting a visa and does the company need to sponsor it? So the process is really, really annoying, and I am so thankful that I've had amazing HR managers who have gone above and beyond and helped me out. I literally owe them my life. What I needed to provide was a lot of paperwork, a lot of letters from former employers. I'm on an E7 visa, which is a working visa. It's specifically for PR and marketing. I can only work in that sphere. I could switch companies and they could pick up that visa and I could just transfer the name of the company I'm working for, but my life is tied to my job. Like if I don't have a job, I don't have my visa anymore. But if you have a working holiday visa, you don't need to be sponsored. Your visa is your own. But if you don't have a working holiday visa, you need to have your company sponsor you. Sarah Junan asked, how was making friends at work? Really, really easy. I'm not saying this just because a lot of my coworkers watch my channel. Hi guys. But everyone I work with is super duper nice. My CEO would, especially in the beginning, did a lot of things to make us like become friends, like force us to become friends. Every Friday we would like shuffle our names up and get put in random groups to go out to lunch together, because it's really easy to like stay in your like marketing team and design team. She would like take one person from each team and force us to like go mingle and like become friends. So as a result, we're all pretty close. Yeah, that's how I made friends. Sean Life asked, how strict is the rule about your major being related to your job, and do I have to do the yakun hueshik stuff? Rule about your major, very, very strict, especially if you're doing an E7 visa. Your major has to match what you want to be. So I was very lucky and majored in communications, media studies, so that was able to transfer to PR and marketing. You have majored in something random like landscape design, you cannot come to Korea and do marketing. It's just as simple as that. You have to do landscape design, and that sucks. It's very, very strict. And then do I have to do the like staying late or doing the like hueshik is like eating out with all your coworkers, and it usually goes really, really late and you drink a lot and blah, blah, blah. My company is quite young and it is quite American styled. My CEOs wanted it to be very like non-Korean basically is what they wanted. We actually don't have any hierarchy terms. We call people by names. We don't say like, we say 대표님, which is CEO, but other than that, we don't say like 대리님 or any of that. And as far as hueshik go, they're not super often and they're not required. They're super chill. They're usually like, oh, you know, someone's leaving to go to another company, let's have a party. And then we just like go out to dinner, and that's it. Like, it's really chill. Very, very lucky, because I'm a grandma, so I would not do the huishik. I could not do the huishik thing. Mikako Murphy asked, was there any culture shock moments when I started working? Not really. I think being invited to coworkers' weddings is super fun. In America, we wouldn't invite, unless you're like super, super close, you wouldn't invite your coworkers to your wedding. Here, everybody's invited. If you were a coworker like once in their lives, you're invited to their wedding. And then on holidays, we get gift baskets, like at Chuseok. But they're usually like super healthy things. Like one time I got a gift basket of tuna and olive oil. And another time I got blueberry juice. One time I got like 10 of the biggest, most beautiful apples I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, it's always fun to see what my company will come up with next. JS Freeland, do I speak Korean in my office? These days, I honestly barely talk in my office at all because I'm just like working and listening to podcasts, so I like don't even speak. I feel like all of our chatting and all of our emailing and all of our meetings are in Korean, and I just like have dictionary out at all times and like try to keep up. I'm pretty okay. My coworkers can either speak English really well or understand it really well, so we either will speak in English or have those weird conversations where like they speak in Korean but I answer in English and we still understand each other but we aren't speaking the same language. We do a lot of that. When I speak, mainly because I've gotten in the horrible habit of speaking in English, I speak in English but I absorb everything in Korean. That makes sense. Jess Sort asked, advice for those who don't know Korean but want a job. It sounds harsh, but learn Korean. I mean, if you want to come to a foreign country and work there, you need to learn at least a little bit of the language. I'm not saying be fluent, I'm not fluent, but like basics you need. Lamely Pink asked, how do they deal with mental illness? Is it taboo? I honestly don't know how American companies even deal with mental illness. My coworkers that I'm close to, we talk outside of work about stress and depression, but other than that, like it doesn't come up. We have like monthly play days where we just take a day off of work and play. I don't know, I feel like it's just as taboo as it is in America right now, I guess. I'm not sure, to be honest. Audrey Way asked, working holiday visas, can we work in a coffee shop or a hotel or whatever? Yes, if they hire you, you can work pretty much wherever you want to. Lucky you. Hey Melody asked, I wrote these all down in a Word document so they're not the same as exactly what you asked. I've heard that Korean work life is crazy and hierarchy based and that men have higher pay than women. How much of that is true? Our CEO is actually a woman. We have a lot of women in power positions. I don't think we play that game. We did have one like super misogynist ajashi guy, but he didn't last very long in the company. That was great to see him say goodbye. We also have days off for women. If it's that time of the month and it's particularly bad, you can take a day off and it is not counted as a vacation day. It is counted as just a woman's resting day, is how they call it. So I really don't think that my company is anything like the typical Korean companies that you've heard of. That was actually the last question, and I got a lot of questions about specific industries, like where can I find a job in the fashion industry, where can I find a job in this industry, and to be completely honest, I don't know. I'm gonna link down below. Some people have made videos about it, or their Instagram accounts who I know work here and work in the industry, but I just don't want to give you any false information or false hope. I still hope that was helpful. If you have any questions that I didn't cover, please still leave them in the comments. You guys know that I answer all my comments, so I will get back to you. Good luck on your job search. Good luck in your schooling. Good luck in everything. Seriously, I am so lucky, and I often think that I'm like in the Truman Show and I'm just gonna wake up one day and it's gonna be fake. Until then, I'm really, really happy here. I did have a very, very, very negative experience related to work that like I would absolutely classify as emotional abuse, and it honestly fucked me up big time. But it was an American that did it. Go figure. So yeah, I don't want to paint it like I have the perfect job and like I'm super duper happy. I am now. I went through an incredibly dark time. Even the happiest stories have like a lot of junk. Anyway, so I will catch you guys later. Thanks as always for joining me and see you next time.